Good evening. The time is 7:18 p.m. Members present are Nick Joseph Saul and Corey Taylor. I'm having technical difficulties, so I'm gonna have to look at the agenda here off of his computer. So we have several items on the agenda. Number one is $1,000 appropriation to the code enforcement's operating supplies for fuel. Do you have any additional information about that, Mr. Holmes?
No, I do not. They have the truck that they're using to go around, and we don't have any.
There's no budget for
There's no
fuel
budget for
at that
fuel.
at this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how, do you know how many miles roughly he's driving in a week or a month?
I really don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I would like to know is whether or not $1,000 is going to cover it through the end of the year, which seems likely given that he's not going very far.
No, he's going often.
But if he's going often, if he's spending a lot of the day even driving back and forth across town in his truck, like.
I would think $1,000 would more than suffice till the end of the year.
Okay.
I can't 100% speak to, I'm Nick, by the way, I'm the city auditor for the moment. It was $250 budgeted for fuel at the beginning of the year, and 140 of that has been spent with another 45 encumbered. So
Okay.
should be,
Yeah.
that should be plenty of runway for the rest of the year, I'd say.
Great. Do you have any questions about it? I am fine with bringing this before the rest of council. Actually, move to place before council $1,000 appropriation to the code enforcement's operating supplies budget for the purchase of fuel.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Next item is classifying the secretary position so they can sign a union card. Which secretary position, what department is that in? Like police?
City manager.
City manager's office?
Yeah, it would actually be the administrative assistant.
Administrative assistant,
Yeah,
okay.
I just copied and pasted that from Mr. Sappington's email, so.
Why'd you fix that, Fred?
What all does that entail? I've never participated in the classifying of a position before.
Well, she's just, I think just classifying means that she's able to join the union. I thought that position was already the case. I think that position actually is, but because of how Michelle was hired.
She was hired to a
temporary agency.
and then became full-time.
Then became full-time. So I just think that we need to formalize her.
I think if she's been hired directly, she would have been hired as a union position.
I agree. I think that is how. So that didn't answer your question though. So I don't know to say if what we need to do as far as actually classifying her
we need
position, but.
Right.
That's something we ought to probably check with our city attorney on.
Okay. I know we briefly had that discussion once before too, you brought it to our attention, but yeah, I'm fine with that though. If we want to have Mr. Rowe look at it, and if he needs to bring legislation, he can bring legislation forward at Monday's meeting.
Okay.
I'm all right with that. I'll make that motion. So.
Okay. Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Hi.
All right.
Third item on the agenda, the committee previously sent to full council the authorization to place nuisance fees against the property tax card. However, it did not make it to the agenda somehow. They still need that authorization. I don't think we really need to act on that because we have already sent it to council. We just need to have eyes on the agenda when it's being developed. I'll
Well-
just send that to,
Well,
Ms.
probably-
Buckley and Mr. Rowe.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's what he means. It didn't come forward. Like, I don't think there was the legislation to support it. I think the committee had pushed it forward, but, I don't think it made it.
Okay. One moment. So, I mean, can I just, reach out to Mr. Rowe, let him know that we need a legislation because that's already come out of committee?
Yeah, I think so,
Okay.
because we've already moved that forward, so.
Jeff Traugh,
Traugh.
how back pay?
Yeah, so Mr. Holmes might give us some more insight on this one.
Yes, he would do back pay back to the beginning of the year, and, I talked with, Taylor Tappington, and we were kind of at a loss how to do this, and I think the best way to do it, the total amount is $6,760.48. He's currently where he should be on his hourly rate. But I think the easiest way to handle this would just be to pay as a one-time bonus to catch him up. And then that would take care of everything without going through all you try to do a payment adjustment. I want to do it
Probably cleaner.
simple, clean and easy.
Yeah.
And that
Is
would
this
take
from when the new unit bargaining contracts went into place?
Right.
And, okay,
Right.
and so he didn't receive his then,
He
everybody
didn't
else?
receive his when everybody else did.
Okay.
And then he did finally get it, but he had that back pay that was not considered.
Okay, oh, he got his adjustment in the pay rate, I see what you
Yes.
mean, okay, but he didn't get back to the beginning of the year like everybody else did,
Everybody else.
I understand.
So that's $6,760.48.
Okay. Is that, what department does Mr.,
Water department.
is that money that's already appropriated within the water department's
yeah.
budget?
Yeah.
Okay, do we need to bring anything to council, request for any legislation be drafted, or is this something that the administration?
Well, I mean, I think it's an appropriation because it's already in the budget, but it's gonna need legislation though, because you got overlooked on the initial, when the contract went into place, and we adopted that, so, it's not gonna be an appropriation, it won't be an ordinance, it might be just in the form of a resolution, because the money's already there. I was gonna say we could just put it together with the other, but with $1,000, but that's actually an appropriation, so this is actually not an appropriation, so.
Something we might have to check with Mr. Rowe.
Yeah, we can check with him, but I think we should be able to do with the resolution honoring, his contract, so.
Ad hoc clerk pay,
We've talked about this at the last, meeting, and it just, I don't know. I didn't follow up on it, I guess, so. This was a situation where she was, the secretary of the ad hoc committee makes $500, a meeting. Well, it was unclear, it was $1,000
it's
a month,
$1,000 a month.
supposed
When
to
I-
be for 2 meetings,
Yeah.
but they've had more meetings, so she's kind of behind 2 meetings. And I don't know what's happening, because I don't know are we to the end of we don't know yet, do we?
I don't have an answer for that. My initial feeling on it is like, while I do want to, I like emotionally, I want to compensate her for the fact that she's doing more work than she expected to be doing. But then I think about Susan Harmony as the council clerk. I think she's at the highest step, if am I
She is.
wrong?
Yeah.
And that's $1,000 a month. And it doesn't matter how many meetings she covers, does it?
No.
We've been having a lot of special meetings. She's been working more often than she's expected as well. So, I mean, I think it opens the door for maybe we should consider paying Susan Harmony more as well. And their meetings, they're an hour or two. Council meetings can be 4 hours long. So as much as I like understand what she's asking for, I'm hesitant to increase it beyond what the council clerk is paid a month.
I did, you missed that last meeting,
Okay.
when we did talk about this, and that's when I covered for you on the finance, as chair, but yeah, when I calculated it up based on, the amount of time that they actually meet for and, the meetings, it comes, for that position, this wouldn't be the case for Susan Harmony, because I agree 100% with what you're saying, and like, we've had a lot of meetings, we go 3-4 hours sometimes. That position it's being compensated roughly about $50 an hour if you calculated it in an hourly rate based on the amount of time they meet for, the amount of time for, and I feel like I went on the high end on hours, for doing minutes, et cetera, for them. So
I think I went down the same.
I kind of feel like it's a
line of
pretty
thought Before we
well
talked
compensated.
ahead of the last meeting. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, I just think I think that she's, if the decision is made to give her a raise, I would definitely advocate for giving Miss Harmony a raise. So, because, well, especially this year, she's worked an awful lot. You have a question in the back of the room?
I have a
Let's-
comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
The amount of time Susan puts in is considerably more than the one for the commission. Some minutes, some of them have only been 15 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, let's do an experiment and assume that you are meeting 4 times a month, having a 2-hour meeting. In which somebody would want to then replay that meeting for themselves as they're going over their notes afterwards, spending another 2 hours. And then let's say they also wanna spend another hour revising like their notes at that point, 5 hours per meeting. That's 20 hours a month. Is that at $1,000 a month, is that $50 per hour?
20 hours a month, you said?
20 hours a month, $1,000 a month.
Yeah, that's 50.
That's $50 an hour, like, that's what a court reporter would get paid to do the same amount of work. It's hard for me to say no, because
Yeah. You and I think must have been doing the same, like figuring as far as calculation on that, because that's like,
I think if you present it the way you presented it, it would seem more logical.
what do you mean?
Just, you said if the meetings are this and this and this, and that would make up that $1,000
Yeah,
for the month.
but realistically, it hasn't been 4 meetings a month, every single month with a 2-hour meeting every time you have a meeting. So that's like 20 hours a month is
Generous.
a generous estimate. Unfortunately.
well, and
for-
tomorrow's their last meeting, isn't it? Or Thursday? Is that your last meeting?
It hasn't been officially decided.
Okay.
So for the ad hoc commission's final report to council on the work that they've been doing, I think they've got a meeting, and then if it goes forward, continues to go forward, and let's just say the mission changes or whatever, we can revisit that.
Yeah,
Based
I
on,
think that would be a good
you know,
idea. If the expectation changes for what the workload of the advisory committee is going to be passed this week. we can revisit it, but at this time, I don't think I'm gonna recommend an increase to council and I don't.
I'm gonna agree with that. So. So this was a proposal from Mr. Holmes.
Yeah, committee clerk, so it sounds like you think it would be helpful for a clerk to capture the minutes of committee meetings.
Yeah.
And you're thinking about starting them out as some kind of
I was
rate
thinking-
equivalent to what we just talked about, like $50 an hour?
Well, no.
$50 per meeting.
$50 per
Sorry.
meeting, yeah. I'm still having trouble getting our committees together. But one of the reasons I want to do this, I noticed on the civil service, I had, a person doing that, and in the actual civil service thing, it says it has to be an employee of the city. And in the civil service, it says it has to be paid, but what I'm looking for is to have some consistency, whether it be the planning commission, the board of zoning appeals, the tree commission, I want the same format in written format, so that we can put it in books, so that we have a record of it. And, I think, I don't like the idea of just appointing someone on the, like the planning commission just to take notes. I'd like someone dedicated, they know what they're doing, they also would be in charge of advertising, because all these meetings are open to the public, they're public meetings. They'd be in charge of advertising that, making sure everyone is, they connect they communicate with all the board members, make sure everyone can attend. So, I think it would really lend some consistency to our boards and commissions, and we would be on the same page, rather than, I know in the past, we've had, code officers that have tried to do that. I've tried to do that, and I'm not very good at it. Oh, no, let me rephrase it. I'm no good at it. That's not my area of expertise. But it's needed. I think it's very much needed. And, we need to, we need to get some, for instance, I just ran across the other day, Tony Holmes ordinance that I think Tony, was gonna bring to the council. I don't think it ever got approved, did it, the tiny homes ordinance?
No, it wasn't approved.
But it was submitted.
Yes,
It was submitted to council, and then there was just, we're lacking follow-up.
it just laid,
Oh,
it
okay.
just laid on the table and
Gotcha.
there was
So you
never.
did the work, the committee did the
Right.
work, gave it to, so the council asked the committee to do the work.
Right.
Yes.
Committee did the work, and then they gave it back to council and nothing happened with it.
Right.
Okay,
Council let it
okay,
die.
okay,
So, and I don't think they did that on purpose.
right.
I just think I need that person.
There needs to be structure.
There
to it,
needs to
yeah.
be structure and follow-up, and I think I asked for, to start out with a maximum of 2,500, because not every committee meets every month.
Mhm.
But it would be nice if I have someone that says, okay, I want a committee meeting here, I want you to advertise it, do a short agenda. So that when the committee comes in, they know what they're working on. Bang, 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 go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then file a written report.
For minutes.
The permanent report that goes into a binder, into a book.
Well, and actually, those minutes could be read into the regular council meetings record as well, which
Yeah.
is nice, so. Yeah, I think it's a nice idea. Do you have somebody in mind that you
I do.
might be interested? Okay,
Yes, I do.
okay,
He's got
great.
a great secretary in his office who,
And she's gonna stay in my office.
but she's very well organized and
But I
She
do
and the
have.
code
some-
officer work beautifully together.
And she's always got candy.
I didn't know that.
When you say, max of 2,500 at $50 per meeting, is that maximum monthly?
I don't, for instance, we just gave a civil service test. They probably won't meet again for another year.
Okay,
planning commission needs to meet, and I've been putting it off kind of primarily for this, but I need planning, tree commission, board of zoning appeals, I need more members for. There may be a couple other board commissions, but as I think part of the problem has been is that people have shied away. And we need people to be involved. And I think as people get involved, and I think the other thing is that when they do get involved, they want to know that their work is,
Yeah.
I remember being on the planning commission and it was a use variance. Do you remember that when we did the retreat house? We changed
Yeah,
We changed
I do
it.
remember that.
It took forever. And it was and council came to us and said, we want this.
Yes.
We did that and we referred it to council and it made us feel like, what?
No,
Why are we here?
Well, I feel like I remember some people involved at that time in council, so I think there was some politicking there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. And I think to go back real quick to your point, you need that people want to feel valued. I think the issue, some people feel like they've been burnt out, from doing stuff for so long. I think that burnout really occurs not because you're tired as much as you've done all the work and you have no appreciation. No one's really acknowledging the fact that you've done all the work, and so they don't feel as valued. So I think that's a good way to put it. I think that those commissions are really valued. I've known quite a few people who have served on those committees over the years that I personally appreciate and have gratitude.
Can I ask a real quick question? Are you talking about the people on the commission getting paid for their meetings?
No, just the
No,
clerk.
just the clerk. Okay,
One
that's
central
fine, that's
clerk
fine,
for all
because
of the commissions.
some of the people on the commission can't take money for it, or it affects their
No,
retirement.
no, I'm just talking about,
Yeah,
secretary.
okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood that correctly, because I didn't want to.
So,
Fred is
well, if I
right.
understand correctly, this person would theoretically be paid $50 a meeting for up to 50 meetings in a year,
Mhm.
which seems reasonable given that some of these commissions only meet quarterly or even
Right,
less often than
right.
that.
And if for some reason it goes over, we can always adjust it. But I just
Yes.
think it would be, I think Councilman Taylor's word of consistency is probably the most appropriate thing there.
And it allows each commission member to put their whole focus on the discussion.
Absolutely.
And
And not
it's a
feel
lot
threatened.
less
Not feel
expensive than
threatened.
hiring a court reporter for each of these meetings. Cause I do this kind of work for boards and zoning appeals.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. And I don't get paid $50 for the whole meeting. But that requires a lot of
Are
travel.
you interested?
No, I can't do that. That would not be appropriate for a council. Well, if I'm not on council anymore, at some point I might be interested. There's an opening like that, but anyway, did you have a comment? I'm sorry. I think you were about to
Yeah,
speak when I spoke.
Everything Fred says is true. I've been on planning for over 20 years and everything imaginable we have dealt with. And then we had a change of guard. And when that change of guard took place, the regular format of how everything was processed just completely gone. We never had another meeting. A letter is supposedly written to the people in the neighborhood where somebody's asking that this house become a bed and breakfast. Then you have a hearing and they can come to the hearing and they explain to you why they wouldn't want that or why they feel we should look at it differently. And there's no one who wants to do that. And so it comes back on the chairman. And it's a difficult committee to be on. It requires a lot of time and a whole lot of patience. Fred, you remember how much time
Yes, ma'am.
So it's very valuable though, and when you lose the continuity of what your purpose is, then it's hard to get that back. But we weren't in a position, or I wasn't, to tell the city manager what to do because he wasn't doing anything. And we were just in limbo.
And I agree with Ms. Joseph Saul's, point about it is difficult at times to run a meeting and try to provide minutes
Oh,
for
no,
your
it
meeting.
is.
So
You have
if
to
you
think
have
of
someone
it.
that's dedicated to that and you are on that committee, you can fully immerse in that discussion and focus on that discussion. I think that's a great point. So
I think it is too.
and I think that's a value. So I like that.
So
I like that idea.
I move to, bring a, clerk for city commissions, and establish and pay for a clerk, that will work taking minutes for the city commissions, to the full council at the next meeting.
I'll second it.
I'd like to,
Oh,
if possible,
sorry.
do it under emergency so we can get started, as soon as possible. Okay. If that's appropriate.
okay.
Weren't you gonna make it a resolution instead of?
That was going to be possibly for the back pay for the gentleman.
Oh, that's
who
right,
was
okay, sorry.
This wouldn't have any, we would have to create a line item for this and we would have to appropriate some money to it as well. So this would probably have to be an ordinance on this one.
Okay.
But I think we could have that discussion of why we would want an emergency on it to get it moving.
Yeah,
Especially if he already has a candidate that's, you know, he may have already had a conversation with that is interested, so.
great. Is there anything else from the city manager's office at this time?
I don't know if it falls under the utility, but we'll be making a recommendation for, an auditor position next month.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah,
Do we have the budget template done yet?
Yeah,
Nick?
I
What's
was
going on?
gonna
I
ask
mean,
has-
Taylor said it was gonna be done this meeting, so.
has Taylor shown any of that to you in your training, the budget? So he was in the process of creating like a template for planning the the coming year's budget that he would have department heads fill out.
No, he hasn't showed me. I did ask him about it, so I had a
Okay.
verbal conversation, and, you know, I know that he was waiting until we had reconciliations done through August, so that way we can get like solid projected revenue.
Okay,
So that, you know, if I'm okay at this job, we'll be done by the 15th of this month. And then, yes, and then I've already, so I don't think that there's an existing template to reach out to department heads, like ask about like,
no, he was
Updates.
making it.
but I have on my list of things to reach out to all department heads and just say like, hey, is there anything you really need us to know? You know, obviously I'm not the one, you guys are the ones that make the decisions, but I'll try to coalesce some notes from the different departments and then come to you with hopefully projections and
Yeah,
any,
projections
any
and
notable
any
changes.
miscellaneous
Yeah.
notes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the 15th of this month, you said?
That's when reconciliation will be done and,
Okay.
you know, we can hopefully provide, you know, at least, I mean, you could
So-
do budget projections now, but the best practice is to have 2/3 of the year under your belt
Yeah,
in revenue, because then you're gonna get a more accurate projection.
okay,
Yeah, because hopefully in
That's
that
right
last
on
end of the
time.
year, you're not gonna have
A bunch
much
of
more,
fluctuation,
yeah.
yeah.
and that's right on time for us to have our committee meetings ahead of the, September 22nd
Yeah.
council meeting.
Yeah.
But so.
Okay. Cool.
I look forward to hearing more about that.
I have one more thing, if we have time. So it was brought up, a council member had brought it up before. Actually, I heard it was mentioned on Viewpoint again today. I was kind of hoping Mr. Flowers was gonna stick around because he brought this up when, you know, he was running on council, but about raising council's pay. So I won't be here, so I mean, but it wouldn't be able to take effect until the next election anyway, after the next election. But the council pay has not been adjusted over the years. I think it's been a potential reason why we haven't had, what some in the community would say qualified, candidates for running for council. It's a lot of headache for $100 a month. But I thought I would just bring it up because, well, it's actually not my idea. So, but it was Mr. Flower's idea. So I thought I'd bring up the discussion. So, because it is budget time, and if you were going to have that discussion, then this would be the appropriate time to maybe make adjustments in that for the next budget.
Did you have a recommendation?
No, I don't. Currently, it's $100 a month, and council president gets $200 a month. So, although I've only had the council president seat for a month, and I'm pulling my hair out. What little hair I have left, it's a lot more work, and I'm busy, so it's hard. So,
would you like me to reach out to some surrounding communities and do a comparison?
Yeah, I'd like to know what, other, communities similar to ours are paying their city administration and, legislative body.
I think it's hard for comparing against maybe Logan or Athens, but there's
Yeah.
got to be other communities that are, roughly the same size as Nelsonville. That you might be able to get I don't know what their rates are. So
Google it.
yeah, probably out there. So
Okay, I'll try to have that ready for Monday.
okay.
I have one thing I wanted to put on your radar. So my understanding is that there is a single annual end of year ordinance. This is an ordinance that is always dated to go into effect on December 31st, and it approves expenditures that go over budget on individual line items. And so I only want to bring that up because it is necessary. It's always been necessary in order to keep operations going because it's impossible to budget perfectly. We do our best. But I particularly want to bring it up because of the December problem. And so it's worth getting the ball rolling on that, hopefully probably before Thanksgiving to have that in place.
Yeah, that's it's a procedural issue that we do every year with the budget, and basically just it just basically any of the I don't know the best way to explain it, to be honest, but I think that what you were saying is more articulate than the way I'm fumbling right now with my work. But yeah, we do it every year. It's a procedural thing when it comes down to the budget at the year end, and basically just I want to say zeroes out the line items, but basically ensures that all the monies are the debits and credits are all matched up at the end of the year and the way they should be. So it's just it's a final year end. Where's Taylor when you need him? Because there's probably a term for that, that he would know. But it's something that we necessarily go through. And I appreciate you bringing it up ahead of time because hopefully that December problem will be resolved. So sure. But,
Yeah, I think it's a great idea to try to, get something like that finalized before the end of November.
And the key, because sometimes people hear it and they think that, I guess, it means that you can just spend whatever you want, but it doesn't take effect until December 31st. So there's nothing, it just makes sure that when we hit the end of the year, that the books are able to be processed properly.
Yeah, it's more of I would say it's more of a reconciliation.
Yeah,
than
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, so of the books year end.
Yeah, I think that's, sorry, what do we just wait for you to?
Oh, I would probably contact Mr. Robe, I guess, if I were in your position and find the, previous years and review that. If you're asking me to find it, I probably could dig it up, but
it wouldn't be hard. And there's no dollar amounts in the ordinance.
No.
Okay.
Because we don't know necessarily what those dollar amounts are going to be until right at that point, so.
Okay, I was imagining dollar amounts, that's where I
No,
was
yes,
going with
yeah,
it, because
no,
I've never seen
got
an
it.
ordinance
Right.
like that before.
Yeah.
So great, I'll get in touch with Mr. Rowe about that. Is there anything else that needs to go before the finance committee tonight?
I'm trying to think, well, they didn't push, I was looking back at the agendas from the previous discussions, utilities. They didn't say, but do you think any of those, they pushed forth, stuff to go to full council, but, or is any of that, would you consider to be appropriations of monies that would have to be before the finance committee from utility? No? Okay.
And then everything that came out of planning and development was already appropriated in the Benny Johnson fund.
Yep, so that's all good there too, so. I think.
Wait a minute, the storm sewer?
No, I don't think so, because that's, you guys would just be, the city would just, or council would just be authorizing you to apply for that money for the
Well,
CD,
I'm talking about the,
CDBG.
wait a minute, I'll tell you.
Okay,
To complete the design of the project, the 27,880.
okay. Oh, and that's okay. And that's what the plan design would be, but that's the 500,000 though that you guys were talking about for the CDBG money that you would apply for.
Right,
Okay,
but the 27,880 would be to get it shovel ready, so
Gotcha.
that when it was time to move on it, we would be ready.
and they, utility committee did, vote to bring that to full council.
Okay.
So for that, I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be, it's too fresh, and Taylor's not here, but based on that, I'm gonna say it might be might be capital improvement or something that we would be looking to utilize for those.
Yeah, that's a real opportunity, because normally there's not grant money available for storm sewer.
Right.
There is for water and sewer, but not, storm sewer is a very unique animal all of it by itself.
And I think that we might actually become more available for some of that based on putting on if we do implement a fee for storm sewer, it now becomes an enterprise fund. So, it would then, that being the case, you would be more likely to be able to receive some grant and, loans for that, because you actually have revenue to be able to support a payment. So,
Correct.
So, do I understand correctly that it's $27,880? Does that need to be appropriated from?
I would say more than likely, it's gonna come out of capital improvement.
Okay, and that's there's a citywide capital improvements fund, it's not under a different department,
No.
okay.
Is that right? Yeah.
yeah, it would be under capital improvement. It would be under like the general fund capital improvement, because it wouldn't be able to come from, being storm sewer, wouldn't be able to come from water or sewer capital improvements.
So like capital improvements line item within the general fund?
Correct.
Okay. So I move to place before council the appropriation of $27,880 from the capital improvements line item within the general fund to I mean, do I have to specify where it's gonna go, or can that be detailed in the legislation?
Well, it'll be detailed in the legislation,
Okay.
but yeah, and I'm just saying we may have to appropriate, because I don't know if there's actually 27,080
Yeah,
already appropriated in
Oh,
in the
With
that's a
some
good
capital.
time, I
question.
can
That's a
figure
good
out the
question.
line item, but I'm not like Taylor, I don't have all the codes in my head memorized
Yeah,
yet.
I think
so.
it's I want to
Give it
say
a few years.
600, 100, 600, but,
Okay.
but so if if we already have 27,880 already in the capital improvement fund appropriated, then we wouldn't necessarily need to do anything. We just
Okay.
have to authorize Mr. Holmes to have DLZ prepare the plan, to go ahead and design the plan, do the plan design. And if it's not, then we'll appropriate it. And that actually could be added to the $1,000 that we're gonna appropriate for the code officer. So that it could be one appropriation ordinance. It wouldn't have to be a just.
So here, I can hand you
Yeah, are you
guys,
gonna have time to, okay,
here, so you guys can look at the current expense. So here's where capital improvement fund starts, and then it goes over here. So
Okay.
at first blush, I did not see an obvious line item that had that kind of change, but I'll let you guys judge that.
Yeah, great. Let's see it.
okay.
I did see in the sewer, the sewer fund does have, or, I'm sorry, yeah, sewer capital improvements, but there's nothing in that fund,
Yeah.
so that's.
So that, this is for.
So this actually may be, this actually, no, you need that back. So this actually could be, this is actually probably gonna be a situation where we'll have to do a separate ordinance for that appropriation, only because in that appropriation, we actually might have to create the line item,
Right.
the capital improvement, like create a storm sewer fund and a capital improvement fund within it, and, because it hasn't been actually created yet. We discussed it in, committee and brought it forth to full council, but we actually haven't formed that line item yet, so we'll have to actually create the storm sewer line item.
Yeah, like storm sewer improvement fund or something like that, or just.
Probably capital
Sure.
improvement, yeah.
Yeah,
There typically is within all, titles, if you will, so if you got sewer or you got streets or whatever, each one, so
right.
storm sewer, there might be several line items underneath the main title of storm sewer. Because you might have, you might have to get a special piece of equipment, or you might have to get a special, not equipment, but like piping, but they call that like,
So like the
Supplies.
format is like, you'd be under the 600 fund, and then there's a dash, and then 3 digits, so like 100 after 600 is police, and 200 after 600 is fire, and so find some other 3-digit combination that would be for storm sewer, and then there may be multiple lines, like Mr. Taylor's suggesting.
I don't know. Do we have anything under storm sewer?
Not yet, we haven't
Not
created
yet,
that
okay.
fund yet, yeah, so we'll have to actually establish a fund.
Yeah.
And then appropriate the funds. Yeah. But that can all be done,
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be like a 3 meetings long process of creating one and then doing the next. I mean, we can do that all in one meeting, we can do that, so. We're gonna keep Mr. Rowe pretty busy for this meeting.
Yeah, so I move that the finance committee directs or requests of the law director, to draft legislation setting all of these things in motion, to bring before council
I'll
for the
second.
next meeting. Okay,
I'll
thank
second.
you.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Is there anything else that should go before the finance committee tonight? Okay.
I don't think I have anything else. So.
Okay, thank you for circling us back to, the utilities committee's decisions earlier tonight, I think. It's gonna be very helpful to get that ball rolling. And, without further ado, I'm going to say we are adjourned at 8:03 p.m.
All right, very good.